Imagine a moment where all the desires, visions, and goals you've held are right within your reach, but you're not fully aware of the most crucial element waiting to transform everything. Sometimes we think we know exactly what we want, but the universe has a way of knowing our deeper needs of setting a course that might look unfamiliar, even uncertain, but that leads directly to our highest good. You may feel as though your goals are slightly out of reach, or you're unsure of how to bridge the gap. Yet you're actually closer to receiving what you need, even beyond what you imagined. I think about how often you prayed or wished for a particular outcome, only to feel frustrated when it didn't arrive in the expected form or timing. What we may not realize is that, more often than not, there's a hidden blessing in what we perceive as delays or detours. It's during these times that we're prepared for things we never anticipated needing, but that ultimately complete our path. Life is rarely linear. It's a collection of twists and turns that seem random, but are filled with purpose if we look close enough. Every event, every moment of uncertainty, is in fact shaping us for the very thing we don't even know we need. Receiving what we didn't even know we needed is about surrender and trust and openness to something greater than our immediate wants. When we let go of rigid expectations, we make room for the unknown and the mysterious, which can bring far more than we might plan ourselves. Think of it as life's way of guiding us towards a greater vision, which often involves receiving people, opportunities, and experiences that we hadn't realized would be so important. In many cases, these unexpected gifts reveal more about our potential than anything we might have orchestrated on our own. This journey requires faith in both timing and outcome. Instead of clinging to every goal or desire, ask yourself what's unfolding that you haven't noticed yet. What might life be orchestrating for you behind the scenes? Sometimes what we need most is not what we initially sought, but it is what will bring us true joy, peace, and growth. Embrace this as a process of receiving with gratitude, knowing that you are being guided toward everything you need, even if you don't yet understand how it all fits together. Now let's explore some key ideas to help you embrace this powerful truth. When we talk about opening ourselves up to unforeseen gifts, we're often referring to a shift in perspective that allows us to see beyond the limitations of what we think we know or want. It's about setting aside our rigid expectations of how things should unfold and adopting a more fluid, receptive mindset. This shift isn't always easy. It requires a willingness to let go of preconceived notions and embrace the unknown. Yet it is in these moments of openness that we often find the most profound growth, hidden opportunities, and unexpected sources of joy. Our minds are typically wired to seek control and certainty. We like to plan, strategize, and work toward specific goals, which provides a sense of direction and security. However, this attachment to control can sometimes act as a barrier. When we're so focused on a particular outcome or way of getting there, we can become blind to other possibilities. By narrowing our focus solely on what we think we want, we inadvertently close ourselves off from what life may be trying to bring into our world, things we would never have considered, but that might be exactly what we need. Opening your mind to unforeseen gifts involves nurturing a sense of curiosity. It's like approaching life as if you're exploring a vast, mysterious landscape without a map. You may not know exactly where you're going, but that's the beauty of it. Curiosity keeps us engaged and open to new experiences, even when they take us away from our planned path. It invites us to consider that there might be more than one way to reach fulfillment, or that our definition of success might evolve as we encounter new situations, people, and insights. When we live in a state of curiosity, we begin to view each day as an opportunity to uncover something we didn't know we needed. One of the biggest obstacles to embracing unforeseen gifts is our natural tendency to resist change. Change can be uncomfortable. It often pulls us out of our comfort zones and challenges us to adapt. But it is precisely this discomfort that allows us to grow. Imagine someone who loses their job unexpectedly. In the moment, this feels like a setback, maybe even a failure. But with an open mind, this person might discover new career paths, skills, or even a passion they would never have pursued otherwise. Perhaps this event leads them to a more fulfilling job, or perhaps it motivates them to start their own business. The loss, which seemed negative at first, actually becomes the starting point for a more fulfilling chapter in their life. Another important aspect of opening up to unforeseen gifts is the practice of releasing judgment about what is good or bad. We often label events, people, and outcomes as positive or negative based on our immediate reaction. However, these judgments can limit our perspective and prevent us from seeing the full picture. What initially appears as a negative situation could very well be a catalyst for personal transformation or a doorway to new opportunities. Instead of rushing to label something as a setback, try to approach it with neutrality and openness, allowing time to reveal its true purpose in your life. Openness to the unforeseen also fosters resilience. When we're too rigid in our expectations, setbacks and challenges can feel devastating. But when we remain open, we learn to adapt and even welcome these disruptions as part of the journey. In this way, resilience becomes not just about bouncing back from challenges, but also about growing stronger and more adaptable with each experience. Over time, this ability to welcome and adapt to the unexpected becomes a kind of superpower. It enables us to handle life's twists and turns with grace, confidence, and even excitement. We start to recognize that these unforeseen gifts are not random. They are perfectly placed to help us evolve, to bring us closer to a truer, more fulfilled version of ourselves. To truly open your mind to unforeseen gifts, consider cultivating a habit of mindfulness. Mindfulness helps us remain present, fully engaged in each moment, rather than becoming lost in our thoughts about the past or future. When we're mindful, we notice subtleties we might otherwise overlook: an insightful conversation, a fleeting inspiration, a quiet moment of clarity. These subtle moments are often where the most meaningful gifts are found. They're the small shifts that lead to big changes, the gentle nudges that guide us in the right direction, the reminders that there is more unfolding than what meets the eye. Trust is a vital component of remaining open to unforeseen gifts. Trust that life has a rhythm and intelligence of its own, one that may be guiding you in ways you cannot yet understand. This doesn't mean you shouldn't have goals or plans. Rather, it means holding those goals with a light touch. Allow yourself to be surprised, to be led down unexpected paths, and to discover new possibilities. When you trust that you are being led toward what you need, even if you don't fully understand it in the moment, you create a foundation of inner peace and flexibility. This kind of trust transforms every experience, making even the unexpected feel like an integral part of your journey, rather than a detour. One of the most fundamental insights we can gain in life is learning to distinguish between what we merely want and what we truly need. This difference might seem subtle, but it plays a powerful role in shaping our choices, actions, and ultimately our fulfillment. While wants tend to be desires that arise from our immediate thoughts or emotional states, needs run deeper. They align with our core values, our sense of purpose, and our personal growth. Often what we want can feel urgent and captivating, but it may not always serve us in the long term. Needs, on the other hand, are foundational. They fulfill essential aspects of our well-being and help us become more of who we are meant to be. At times we may be so focused on achieving a particular goal or acquiring something we desire that we lose sight of what we truly need. Wants are usually driven by external factors, societal expectations, peer influence, or even the allure of momentary pleasures. They often speak to our ego, convincing us that by fulfilling them, we will achieve happiness, status, or approval. However, the satisfaction we get from our wants tends to be fleeting. It may bring a temporary sense of joy or validation, but it doesn't create lasting fulfillment. In contrast, when we meet our needs, we experience a deeper satisfaction that aligns with our inner sense of purpose and balance. Needs are about growth, stability, and personal evolution, elements that remain significant beyond any momentary gain. Understanding the difference between wants and needs allows us to approach life with more discernment. Think about the goals you are currently pursuing or the desires you hold. Are they truly aligned with who you are, or are they shaped by external expectations? Sometimes we chase things because we feel they will enhance our identity in the eyes of others, only to realize later that they don't resonate with our true selves. Recognizing this gap between want and need is essential, because it helps us focus our energy and time on things that will nourish us in a lasting way. This awareness keeps us from feeling empty or unfulfilled, even after achieving what we once thought would make us happy. One powerful way to explore this difference is by examining our motivations. Wants are often tied to instant gratification, the promise of something that seems to make us feel better right away. They can be shallow, driven by surface-level desires that satisfy immediate cravings or soothe insecurities. Needs, however, require us to dig deeper. They are less about momentary pleasure and more about creating a foundation for long-term well-being. Needs fulfill us in a way that supports our physical, emotional, and spiritual growth. They may not always feel exciting or glamorous, but they provide a lasting sense of peace and contentment that quick fixes cannot. Our wants and needs can sometimes overlap, but the challenge lies in recognizing when we're prioritizing wants over needs, which can happen easily in a fast-paced world. We are constantly surrounded by messages that tell us we should want more success, more possessions, more recognition. But this more mentality can pull us away from our needs, leading us into a cycle of always seeking without ever feeling genuinely satisfied. It's like trying to fill a well with water that only evaporates. Needs, however, have a grounding effect. When we prioritize our needs, we are filling ourselves with what genuinely matters to us, and this creates a lasting reservoir of satisfaction. Sometimes we may resist acknowledging what we need, because it may not look as appealing or as rewarding on the surface. Needs can require us to make sacrifices, to delay gratification, or to take a more challenging path. They may demand introspection, patience, and even discomfort. Yet it is often this discomfort that brings growth. For instance, while we might want the admiration of others, what we truly need could be self-acceptance and inner confidence. Seeking validation externally may offer a quick boost, but cultivating self-worth fulfills us in a way that others' opinions never could. Understanding and honoring our needs over wants also brings clarity to our decisions and relationships. When we know what we truly need, we are less likely to make choices that compromise our well-being for the sake of a short-lived desire. This clarity can lead us to relationships and environments that nourish us rather than drain us. Needs are aligned with our values and integrity, which means that when we honor them, we make choices that are congruent with our authentic selves. We build a life that resonates with who we are rather than a life that looks good from the outside but feels hollow within. Developing this awareness takes time, as it requires us to pause, reflect, and sometimes go against the flow of what others expect. It's a process of peeling back the layers of conditioning and reconnecting with what truly matters to us. It is about tuning into the quiet voice within that knows what will sustain us in the long run, even if it doesn't match the loud voices around us that constantly promote what you want. By honoring our needs, we cultivate a life of purpose, one where we are not just moving from one desire to the next, but building something meaningful and fulfilling. When we begin to differentiate between our wants and needs, we open ourselves to receive what truly serves us. We become less concerned with superficial desires and more connected to what genuinely enhances our journey. Wants may bring excitement and novelty, but it is our needs that bring depth, resilience, and a sense of true alignment with our purpose and inner peace. Allowing life to reroute your path is an act of openness and courage. It's the willingness to trust that there are countless ways to reach fulfillment, and that sometimes the route we planned may not be the best one to take. Life has a way of showing us that even the most carefully laid plans can shift in unexpected ways. These shifts, often seen as disruptions or setbacks, are actually opportunities in disguise. There are moments when life nudges us off the road we thought we wanted to follow and onto a path that may ultimately serve us better. But in order to embrace these changes, we must be open to the idea that life itself can see possibilities we may not yet imagine. When we set out on a particular path, we often attach ourselves to a specific outcome. This attachment creates a sense of security, a feeling that we are in control. But when life inevitably introduces unexpected changes, our attachment to this imagined outcome can lead to frustration or disappointment. We might view these disruptions as failures or detours, as if life is going off track. However, if we take a step back, we may begin to see that these moments are not detours but recalibrations realigning us with a destination that may bring even greater satisfaction or growth. Allowing life to reroute us requires flexibility, a flexibility that enables us to let go of the need for everything to go exactly as planned. This doesn't mean abandoning our goals or dreams, rather. It means being open to the idea that our path may twist and turn in ways we hadn't anticipated. The universe is always working in subtle ways to guide us toward our highest potential, often by challenging us to grow, adapt, and expand beyond our comfort zones. When we resist these changes, we create inner tension. But when we allow them, we find a flow that brings a sense of peace and harmony, even in the midst of uncertainty. One of the most empowering aspects of allowing life to reroute our path is that it cultivates resilience. The more we adapt to the unexpected, the more capable we become of handling life's unpredictability with grace. Every time we face a change with openness, rather than resistance, we strengthen our ability to cope with future changes. Over time, this resilience allows us to approach life with a mindset that is not fixed but fluid. We learn to see change as an opportunity to realign with what is truly meaningful, rather than as an obstacle. This adaptability transforms us, enabling us to face challenges without losing sight of our inner compass. It's also important to recognize that when life reroutes us, it is often redirecting us away from something that is no longer serving us, whether or not we're aware of it. We may be holding on to a job, relationship, or lifestyle simply because it feels familiar, not because it aligns with our growth. Life's unexpected shifts can act as gentle pushes to explore new directions that we may have overlooked. Imagine a river encountering a boulder in its path. It doesn't stop, it simply finds another way forward. Likewise, we too can find new pathways when obstacles arise, paths that may offer fresh insights, relationships, and opportunities we hadn't foreseen. Another key element of allowing life to reroute your path is cultivating patience. We may not always immediately understand why a shift is happening, and the clarity of purpose may only come in hindsight. But if we can embrace the process with patience, we allow ourselves to experience the journey fully, rather than rushing to the next step. This patience is a form of trust in life itself, a belief that there is an underlying wisdom guiding us, even if we cannot see it clearly in the moment. Over time, this patience develops into a calm acceptance of life's ebb and flow, a state where we no longer feel the need to force outcomes, but instead are open to whatever comes. Letting life reroute us can also lead to a stronger sense of self-discovery. Sometimes the shifts we experience reveal strengths, passions, or aspects of our character that we weren't aware of before. When we're taken off our planned path, we're often placed in situations that challenge us to grow in new ways. We may find ourselves in roles we hadn't considered, meeting people we would never have crossed paths with, or developing skills that would have remained dormant had we stayed on our original course. Each of these elements adds richness to our experience, teaching us more about who we are and what we're capable of. Moreover, allowing life to reroute us often brings unexpected joy and fulfillment. When we let go of rigid plans, we create space for spontaneity. And with spontaneity comes the potential for surprising connections, insights, and moments of joy. It's like letting go of the steering wheel for a moment to see where life naturally takes us. Often, this shift leads us to experiences that bring a deep sense of contentment or joy that we didn't even know we were missing. These are the moments that remind us of the beauty of surrendering to the unknown, of letting life unfold in ways we hadn't imagined. This openness to rerouting helps us build a more expansive view of success. Rather than defining success solely by achieving specific goals, we begin to see success as the ability to live with openness, resilience, and curiosity. It becomes less about reaching a fixed destination and more about how we respond to the journey itself. This perspective brings a profound sense of freedom because it allows us to redefine what matters based on what each moment teaches us. Trusting the timing of your life means developing a deep-seated belief that everything you're experiencing is unfolding exactly as it should. It's about surrendering the urge to control every outcome or rush every process, realizing instead that life operates on its own schedule, a schedule that often knows what's best for us, even when we don't. The desire for immediate results, particularly in today's fast-paced world, can make us impatient with the process. But learning to trust in the timing of our lives offers a profound sense of peace, as it allows us to embrace every moment for what it is, a stepping stone leading us towards a greater purpose. When we trust in life's timing, we let go of the idea that we are behind or that we are too late for certain achievements. Society often imposes unspoken timelines, pressures to reach certain milestones by a certain age or achieve certain goals within a particular time frame. These expectations can create unnecessary anxiety, leading us to question whether we're moving quickly enough or accomplishing enough. Yet, life is not a race. Each person's journey is unique, with its own natural flow. By trusting the timing of our lives, we give ourselves permission to move at a pace that feels right for us, rather than succumbing to external pressures. We recognize that we are exactly where we need to be at every moment, learning lessons that are meant to prepare us for what's ahead. There are times when it feels as if nothing is happening, times when we feel stagnant, or as though we're waiting endlessly for something to change. These moments can be challenging because they make us feel disconnected from our goals and dreams. But it's often in these periods of waiting that life is working in the background, aligning circumstances, opportunities, and people to come into our lives at the right time. Trusting in this process requires patience and faith, but it also brings a sense of anticipation. We may not know when things will shift, but we can rest in the assurance that the universe is setting the stage for us, preparing us for what's next. A significant part of trusting life's timing involves recognizing that delays and obstacles are not necessarily setbacks. They are often redirections that keep us on the path that best serves us. Many times, when we encounter a delay, it's because there's a lesson we need to learn or an experience we need to have before moving forward. These pauses can be moments of growth, times when we develop resilience, patience, or insight that will benefit us down the road. By viewing obstacles as integral parts of our journey, we transform them from sources of frustration into opportunities for learning and growth. Learning to trust in life's timing also teaches us to appreciate the present moment. When we're constantly looking to the future, waiting for the right time for everything to fall into place, we overlook the beauty and lessons of the here and now. Trusting the timing of life helps us to focus less on the next milestone and more on what each moment has to offer. We begin to see the value in each day, recognizing that every experience, big or small, contributes to our journey. This shift in perspective not only alleviates anxiety about the future, but also deepens our appreciation for what we already have. One of the greatest gifts of trusting life's timing is the freedom it brings from comparison. When we fully embrace the idea that our journey is unique, we no longer feel the need to measure our progress against others. Each person's path unfolds in its own time, and what may seem like late or early by societal standards has no bearing on our individual fulfillment. Trusting the timing of our lives liberates us from the constant pressure to keep up with others, allowing us to focus on our own growth and joy. This sense of freedom enables us to celebrate others' successes without feeling as though we're being left behind, as we understand that our own successes will come in their perfect time. Trusting life's timing also allows us to be more adaptable. When we accept that things may not happen exactly when or how we planned, we become more resilient in the face of uncertainty. This adaptability enables us to embrace change, to adjust our plans without fear or frustration, and to remain open to the unexpected. Instead of viewing unplanned events as disruptions, we see them as part of the journey, often bringing new opportunities or insights that enrich our lives in ways we couldn't have anticipated. This flexibility helps us move forward with a sense of ease, knowing that each turn in the road is a part of our unique path. Another benefit of trusting life's timing is that it enhances our sense of gratitude. When we trust that each phase of life is exactly as it should be, we begin to feel grateful for both the high points and the challenges. Every experience, whether it's a moment of joy or a period of struggle, is an essential part of our story. This gratitude keeps us grounded, reminding us that the journey itself is valuable and that every chapter has its place. It allows us to find meaning and purpose in each experience, knowing that it all contributes to our growth and evolution. Trusting life's timing gives us a sense of peace. It frees us from the relentless need to force outcomes or micromanage every detail of our lives. When we trust that things will happen when they're meant to, we are able to let go of worry and embrace a mindset of surrender. This doesn't mean we become passive or stop working toward our goals. Rather, it means we pursue them with an open heart, without feeling that our happiness depends on achieving them by a certain time. Trusting the timing of our lives allows us to work diligently and patiently, confident that all things will fall into place as they are meant to. One of the most liberating things we can do on the journey to realizing our dreams is to let go of the how and focus instead on the what. We often find ourselves caught up in the details, wondering how each step will unfold and trying to control every aspect of the process. But when we're overly focused on the how, we limit ourselves to only what we know or can imagine. The how represents the mechanics, the steps, and the conditions we think are necessary to bring our vision to life. But in truth, the how is not always within our control, nor does it need to be. By letting go of the how and embracing the what, our desired outcome or purpose, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities, allowing life to surprise us with paths and solutions we hadn't considered. Embracing the what allows us to clarify our intentions and align our actions with what truly matters to us. When we focus on what we want to achieve, we center our energy on the essence of our goals, the end result we're aiming for. This clarity of purpose becomes a guiding force, helping us stay grounded and motivated regardless of how things unfold. The what represents our vision, our dreams, and our aspirations. It is the part of the process that is wholly within our control. By focusing on what we truly desire, we engage our mind and heart in a way that channels our energy toward what matters most, even if the exact steps to get there remain uncertain. Letting go of the how requires trust. Trust in life, trust in the process, and trust in our own resilience. It's an act of faith that once we define our destination, the universe will help guide us to it. Often we cling to the how because it gives us a sense of control and security. But this sense of control is an illusion, as life rarely unfolds in a straight line. When we fixate on the how, we can become rigid, resistant to change, and unable to recognize opportunities that don't align with our preconceived ideas. In contrast, when we let go of the how, we allow ourselves to be flexible and open to alternative paths, trusting that the universe has ways of delivering our desires that may be far better than anything we could have planned. Another benefit of focusing on the what rather than the how is that it frees us from unnecessary stress and anxiety. Constantly worrying about the details, fearing that things won't work out unless they happen a certain way, creates a mental burden that weighs us down. This anxiety can drain our energy and even make us question whether our dreams are worth pursuing. By releasing our attachment to specific methods or timelines, we give ourselves permission to move forward without the fear of what if. This freedom allows us to channel our energy into actions we can control, actions that support our goals, rather than worrying over every potential obstacle or delay. Letting go of the how also encourages us to be more present and mindful throughout the journey. When we're too focused on achieving our outcome in a specific way, we can miss out on the experiences and lessons that come along the way. Each day becomes a stepping stone, filled with insights, connections, and personal growth that may not be directly related to our end goal, but that enrich our journey nonetheless. By focusing on the what, we remain rooted in the present moment, fully experiencing each stage of the process. This presence helps us cultivate a deeper appreciation for the journey itself, recognizing that every step, no matter how small or unexpected, contributes to our growth and understanding. Additionally, when we focus on the what and release the how, we become more receptive to support from others. Sometimes, when we're too attached to a specific plan, we close ourselves off from help or guidance, convinced that no one else understands our vision as well as we do. But by focusing on the what, we become more open to collaboration, realizing that others may bring unique perspectives, skills, or resources that can help us achieve our goals in ways we hadn't considered. This openness creates a sense of community and support around our goals, making the journey less isolating and more enriching. The act of embracing the what also fosters creativity. When we're not locked into a particular plan, we allow ourselves the freedom to explore new ideas, try different approaches, and take risks. This creative flexibility enables us to approach challenges with a fresh perspective, finding innovative solutions that may not have been possible had we rigidly adhered to a specific path. By focusing on the what, we allow ourselves to think expansively, inviting inspiration and intuition to guide us. This creative mindset can lead to breakthroughs and discoveries that bring us closer to our goals in ways we might never have anticipated. Focusing on the what also deepens our self-confidence. When we release our attachment to the how, we affirm our belief in our own worthiness and capability. We recognize that our desires are valid and that we have the power to achieve them, regardless of the exact path we take. This confidence allows us to move forward with a sense of purpose, knowing that we don't need to have all the answers right away. As we progress, we build trust in our ability to adapt, learn, and find solutions as we go. This inner confidence becomes a source of strength, helping us navigate uncertainties without losing sight of our end goal. Letting go of the how and embracing the what cultivates a sense of gratitude. When we're open to unexpected outcomes, we begin to see that every experience, whether planned or unplanned, adds value to our journey. We learn to appreciate the detours, setbacks, and surprises as part of the process that shapes us and brings us closer to our goals. This gratitude not only enhances our journey, but also shifts our perspective, reminding us that the universe is always working in our favor, even if we can't see it in the moment. Reflecting on the lessons from unexpected outcomes is one of the most transformative practices we can adopt. Life is filled with twists and turns that challenge our assumptions, disrupt our plans, and push us into uncharted territory. While it can be tempting to view unexpected outcomes as setbacks or failures, they often contain powerful insights that we might not have discovered had everything gone according to plan. Embracing these surprises allows us to see life as a constant learning process, one where every experience, regardless of its alignment with our expectations, has something valuable to offer. By reflecting on these moments, we gain wisdom, resilience, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. One of the most immediate lessons that unexpected outcomes offer is the value of flexibility. When things don't go the way we planned, we're often forced to pivot, adapt, and think on our feet. This flexibility teaches us not only to handle change with grace, but also to see that life rarely follows a linear path. Embracing flexibility enables us to navigate unexpected challenges with a sense of calm, rather than fear or frustration. Over time, this adaptability becomes a strength that helps us face uncertainty with confidence, knowing that we can handle whatever comes our way. Reflecting on these experiences reveals how each deviation from our plans has taught us to be resilient and open-minded, ready to adjust without losing our sense of direction. Another profound lesson we learn from unexpected outcomes is humility. When we're faced with situations that defy our expectations or control, we're reminded of our limitations. This humility isn't about undermining our capabilities, rather. It's about recognizing that we're part of a much larger process that we don't always fully understand. Unexpected outcomes can humble us, showing us that we don't have all the answers and that life often has its own wisdom and timing. By accepting this, we become more open to learning from our experiences and from others, acknowledging that each person's journey offers unique insights that can enrich our own. Unexpected outcomes also teach us to detach from rigid expectations. When we're focused solely on a specific result, we may overlook opportunities or lessons that arise along the way. Unexpected outcomes push us to let go of fixed ideas about what success or fulfillment should look like. Instead of fixating on a narrow vision, we begin to develop a broader perspective that allows us to see value in a range of experiences. This shift from rigid expectations to openness helps us embrace life's spontaneity, knowing that growth and success can come in many forms. Reflecting on these moments helps us recognize that sometimes the outcomes we hadn't planned for are exactly what we needed to move forward. Additionally, reflecting on unexpected outcomes cultivates patience and resilience. When things don't go as expected, it's natural to feel frustrated or disappointed, especially if we've invested time and effort into a particular goal. However, these experiences teach us that setbacks are often temporary, and that perseverance is a crucial part of any journey. Unexpected outcomes require us to exercise patience, to trust that even though things may not make sense in the moment, they will ultimately contribute to our growth. This patience strengthens our resilience, allowing us to bounce back from disappointments with a renewed sense of purpose and commitment. Reflecting on these experiences reveals how every challenge has taught us to keep going, even when the path is unclear. A powerful lesson that emerges from unexpected outcomes is self-awareness. When things don't go as planned, we're often forced to confront our emotions, our beliefs, and our motivations. These moments can be eye-opening, revealing aspects of ourselves that we might not have recognized otherwise. Unexpected outcomes give us a chance to examine how we respond to adversity, what fears or doubts may arise, and how we can improve. By reflecting on these experiences, we gain deeper insight into our values, strengths, and areas for growth. This self-awareness becomes a guiding light, helping us make more intentional choices and approach future challenges with a stronger sense of self. Unexpected outcomes also often introduce us to new opportunities and perspectives. When things don't go according to plan, it's easy to feel as though we've hit a dead end. But these moments can actually open doors to possibilities we hadn't considered. They encourage us to explore new paths, take on fresh challenges, and even develop skills we hadn't prioritized before. By reflecting on these opportunities, we begin to see that unexpected outcomes aren't simply roadblocks, they are invitations to expand our horizons, meet new people, and grow in ways we couldn't have anticipated. Each unexpected turn has the potential to lead us towards something meaningful, often enriching our journey in ways we couldn't have planned. Another key lesson that comes from unexpected outcomes is gratitude. When we look back on moments that initially seemed disappointing, we often realize they played a crucial role in our journey. Perhaps they brought us closer to people who support us, taught us a skill we've since relied on, or showed us a path that aligns more deeply with our purpose. Reflecting on these experiences fosters gratitude for the journey itself, helping us appreciate every twist and turn as part of the process that shapes us. This gratitude encourages us to view challenges as essential components of our growth, reminding us that even setbacks have value. Finally, reflecting on unexpected outcomes helps us cultivate a mindset of trust and surrender. We begin to see that not everything is within our control, and that's okay. Life has a way of guiding us, often through unexpected means, toward the experiences we need for our growth. By learning to trust in this process, we let go of the need to micromanage every detail of our journey. This doesn't mean we stop pursuing our goals or working hard, rather. It means we approach life with an open heart, knowing that each outcome, planned or unplanned, is part of a greater picture. This trust allows us to move forward with confidence, embracing the journey with a sense of openness and curiosity. Embracing gratitude for what arrives in our lives, whether expected or unexpected, is one of the most powerful ways to align with abundance and fulfillment. When we cultivate a mindset of gratitude, we learn to appreciate every experience, and every opportunity is a meaningful part of our journey. Gratitude is more than just a feeling, it is a conscious practice that shifts our perspective from focusing on what is missing to recognizing the value in what we have. This shift in focus changes our relationship with life itself, allowing us to feel a sense of contentment and peace, no matter what our circumstances may be. In this way, gratitude becomes a guiding principle, helping us navigate through challenges and celebrate victories with equal grace. At its core, gratitude is an acknowledgement of life's inherent generosity. Often we're conditioned to focus on future achievements or milestones as markers of happiness and fulfillment. But when we embrace gratitude, we realize that life is already offering us countless gifts each day. These gifts may come in many forms: the support of loved ones, moments of joy, personal growth, or even the lessons that arise from difficult situations. When we take a step back and express gratitude for these experiences, we recognize that we are constantly receiving exactly what we need to grow and evolve. This realization fosters a deeper sense of trust in life's unfolding, reassuring us that even if things don't go exactly as planned, there is a purpose to everything that arrives. Embracing gratitude also opens us to the present moment. When we're fixated on future goals or weighed down by past regrets, it's easy to overlook the beauty of what's happening right now. By practicing gratitude, we bring our awareness back to the present, appreciating the people, opportunities, and experiences that surround us in this moment. This presence not only enhances our sense of fulfillment, but also deepens our connections with others, allowing us to engage more fully and authentically. As we contemplate this awareness, we become more mindful of the small details that make life meaningful, details we might otherwise take for granted. Gratitude reminds us that life's richness is found in the here and now. Gratitude also acts as a powerful counterbalance to negativity and fear. When we face challenges or setbacks, it's natural to feel discouraged or anxious. But by consciously focusing on what we're grateful for, we can counteract these negative emotions and maintain a more balanced perspective. Gratitude shifts our attention away from what's lacking or uncertain, directing it instead toward what is already positive and supportive in our lives. This doesn't mean we ignore difficulties or pretend they don't exist, rather. We approach them with a mindset that recognizes there is still much to be thankful for, even in tough times. This resilience, born from gratitude, strengthens our ability to cope with life's ups and downs, knowing that each experience contributes to our growth. Another beautiful aspect of gratitude is that it invites more abundance into our lives. The act of being thankful for what we have creates a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. When we appreciate what we already possess, we send a message to ourselves and to the universe that we are receptive to receiving more. This openness attracts new opportunities, resources, and connections that align with our desires and needs. In this way, gratitude is a magnet for positive experiences, a way of saying yes to life and all it has to offer. By embracing gratitude, we position ourselves to receive even more, recognizing that life's offerings are boundless when we remain open to them. Gratitude also fosters humility, helping us understand that our lives are shaped not only by our own efforts, but also by the contributions and kindness of others. No one achieves success or happiness in isolation. We are all supported by the people and circumstances around us. When we acknowledge this, we become more aware of how interconnected we are and how much we owe to those who have helped us along the way. Embracing gratitude allows us to see the value in every interaction, from the guidance of mentors to the encouragement of friends and family. This sense of interconnectedness humbles us, reminding us to give back to others in the same way that we have been supported. Moreover, gratitude deepens our relationship with ourselves. As we practice gratitude, we begin to appreciate not only external blessings, but also our inner strength, resilience, and progress. We start to see how much we've grown and how capable we are of handling life's challenges. This self-appreciation is a form of self-compassion, acknowledging that we are worthy of our own kindness and recognition. By being grateful for who we are and the journey we're on, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and self-worth that is not dependent on external validation. This inner gratitude becomes a foundation for self-love, empowering us to embrace our unique path with confidence. Gratitude also creates a ripple effect, influencing the people around us. When we express genuine gratitude, we inspire others to do the same, fostering a culture of appreciation and positivity. Our gratitude encourages others to recognize their own blessings, creating an environment where people feel valued and supported. This collective gratitude enhances our relationships, deepening bonds and promoting a sense of community. Whether we express gratitude through words, actions, or simple gestures, our appreciation uplifts those around us, reminding them that they too are part of something meaningful. This ripple effect demonstrates the power of gratitude to create positive change, not just within ourselves, but in the world we inhabit. Embracing gratitude allows us to approach life's mysteries with wonder rather than judgment. Instead of labeling experiences as good or bad, we begin to see each moment as a gift that has something valuable to teach us. Gratitude opens our minds and hearts to the idea that life's surprises, even those that challenge us, are ultimately there to support our growth and understanding. This mindset brings a sense of curiosity to our journey, allowing us to explore each experience with openness and appreciation. As we embrace gratitude for all that arrives, we transform every moment into an opportunity for growth, healing, and joy, recognizing that life's true wealth lies not in what we acquire, but in the depth of our appreciation for all that we experience. In closing, as we journey through life, let us remember that often the most profound blessings come not from achieving everything we think we want, but from receiving what we didn't even know we needed. Each experience, whether planned or unexpected, holds a lesson, a gift, or an opportunity meant to shape us, sometimes in ways we cannot foresee. When we open ourselves to the unknown, embrace gratitude, and trust in the timing of our lives, we allow space for the magic of the unexpected to unfold. This openness invites us to release control, to find peace in uncertainty, and to see every moment as part of a greater picture that is uniquely tailored to our growth and happiness. Let us walk forward with faith, knowing that life's twists and turns aren't barriers but pathways that lead us to a fuller version of ourselves. By welcoming the unexpected with open arms and a grateful heart, we step into a world that's constantly providing us with what we need to grow, to learn, and to become. In this acceptance, we find true freedom and ability to thrive in every season, no matter what arrives. As you continue your journey, may you find joy in the unplanned, strength in the unforeseen, and gratitude for every blessing that appears along the way, especially the ones you didn't even know you were waiting for. Time is the most precious resource we have, yet it's often one of the easiest things to overlook. Many people don't grasp the full value of time until it's nearly too late, by which point they find themselves reflecting on how much of it was taken for granted or spent on things that, in hindsight, weren't worth the trade-off. Unlike money, which can be earned, saved, or invested to accumulate more, time is irretrievable. Once a moment is gone, it's lost forever. Each passing second represents a slice of life that can never be regained, making the awareness of time's value essential for a life of fulfillment and purpose. People often fall into the trap of assuming they'll have plenty of time in the future to pursue their dreams, mend relationships, or live according to their true desires. However, in reality, life is unpredictable, and no one is guaranteed a specific amount of time. This illusion of later is a dangerous mindset, as it encourages people to procrastinate on their dreams, postpone spending time with loved ones, and avoid taking the steps necessary to create a meaningful life. By the time they realize that later may never come, they've already missed countless opportunities. The people who understand the value of time are those who approach each day with a sense of urgency and intentionality. They know that every day, every hour, every minute holds the potential to bring them closer to their goals or deepen their connections with the people around them. They use their time thoughtfully, seeing it as a finite resource that deserves respect. This mindset shift often changes everything for them. They become more selective about what they invest their time in and who they spend it with. They cut out distractions and activities that don't serve their vision or contribute to their happiness, realizing that spending time on things that don't add value is effectively a form of wasting life itself. Moreover, time is an invisible but powerful factor in personal growth and development. The people who value time understand that real growth is a gradual, steady process, and that change doesn't happen overnight. They give themselves the time to cultivate skills, work on their weaknesses, and foster relationships. Rather than rushing through life, they see the value in slow, deliberate steps that build toward lasting achievements. They respect the time it takes to become proficient in something, recognizing that the journey is just as valuable as the destination. This understanding allows them to savor each step, appreciating the learning and growth that occurs over time. One of the most profound aspects of valuing time is that it brings clarity to what matters most. When people start treating time as a limited resource, they become acutely aware of their priorities. They realize that not everything deserves their attention, energy, or concern. This clarity enables them to focus on what truly aligns with their values and aspirations. They begin to say no to things that don't serve their purpose, even if that means disappointing others or stepping away from certain social expectations. By doing so, they carve out more time to invest in the areas that matter most, whether that's personal growth, meaningful relationships, or creative pursuits. In valuing time, people also come to understand the importance of presence. It's not just about the hours spent, but the quality of those hours. Those who recognize time's value learn to be fully present in whatever they're doing, whether it's working, spending time with family, or simply enjoying a quiet moment alone. They understand that being mentally and emotionally engaged makes each moment richer and more fulfilling. Instead of mindlessly moving from one task to another, they pause to absorb and appreciate the experience. This practice of mindfulness enhances their well-being and strengthens their connections with others as they show up with genuine attention and care. Ultimately, valuing time allows people to build a legacy. Each choice they make, each minute they spend, contributes to the story of their life. Those who value time are deliberate about the kind of legacy they want to leave behind, knowing that their actions today are creating the memories, impressions, and impacts they'll be remembered for. They understand that time is the medium through which they shape their identity and purpose. With this understanding, they take responsibility for how they spend their days, knowing that each one is a chance to contribute to something larger than themselves. In this light, the value of time becomes a guiding principle that shapes decisions, actions, and even relationships. Once people fully appreciate time's fleeting nature, they experience a shift in perspective, realizing that every moment is a gift. This shift often leads them to live with greater integrity, joy, and fulfillment as they make choices that honor the precious resource that is their time. Self-worth is one of the most crucial yet elusive aspects of our personal lives. Many people spend years searching for it in the external world, believing that validation from others or achievements in their careers, social circles, or relationships will provide a sense of worthiness. Yet true self-worth cannot be sustained through external means. The profound realization that self-worth must come from within often comes later in life, after countless attempts to find it outside have failed to bring lasting fulfillment. The irony is that the moment we stop looking for it in the world around us and turn inward, we discover that it was always available, waiting to be nurtured within. Building self-worth from within is about accepting oneself wholly, flaws and all. Society often pressures people to achieve, to stand out, and to gain approval, to feel valuable. However, when we attach our self-worth to achievements or validation, we become vulnerable to feeling inadequate whenever we fall short of those expectations. If self-worth depends on success, then a failure can make us feel unworthy. If it's rooted in others' opinions, a single criticism or rejection can make us doubt our entire sense of self. By cultivating self-worth internally, we shield ourselves from the shifting standards of society, because our value no longer depends on what we do or how others see us, but on who we are. This internal sense of self-worth creates a solid foundation of confidence and resilience. People who have cultivated a strong sense of self-worth from within don't need constant reassurance or praise to feel good about themselves. Instead, they become their own source of validation, understanding that their inherent worth remains steady, regardless of external circumstances. This self-assurance allows them to take risks, try new things, and bounce back from setbacks, because they know their worth isn't at stake. They approach life with a sense of security that doesn't waver with each success or failure. They're free to express themselves authentically without fear of judgment, because they understand that other people's opinions don't define their value. When people rely on external sources for their self-worth, they often end up making choices that aren't aligned with their true selves. They may say yes to things they don't want to do, pursue careers they don't enjoy, or stay in relationships that don't fulfill them all in the hope of being liked, respected, or admired. But these choices, made out of a desire for validation, often lead to a life that feels hollow. In contrast, those who find their self-worth from within are empowered to make decisions that honor their needs, values, and desires. They act in alignment with their inner truth, rather than trying to live up to someone else's expectations. This authenticity leads to a far more meaningful and fulfilling life, as they surround themselves with people, experiences, and pursuits that genuinely resonate with who they are. One of the most liberating aspects of self-worth from within is that it makes people less afraid of rejection or failure. When self-worth isn't dependent on others' approval, the sting of rejection diminishes. Rejection no longer feels like a reflection of their worth, but rather as a natural part of life that everyone experiences. This perspective shift allows people to approach relationships and opportunities without the constant fear of being not good enough. They understand that their worth is intact, even if someone else doesn't see it. In this way, an internal sense of self-worth makes people more resilient, as they can move forward after disappointments without losing faith in themselves. Furthermore, self-worth from within creates a sense of inner peace. People who value themselves independently of external circumstances tend to experience less anxiety and stress. They're not constantly seeking validation or trying to prove their worth, which allows them to relax into who they are. This self-acceptance fosters a deep sense of contentment because they no longer feel pressured to meet arbitrary standards of success or beauty. Instead, they're free to define their own standards, focusing on growth, joy, and well-being rather than superficial achievements. This sense of peace radiates outward, often drawing others to them, not because they need approval, but because they exude confidence and self-respect. As people cultivate self-worth from within, they also become more compassionate and understanding towards others. Having learned to accept themselves, they find it easier to accept others with all their imperfections. They're less likely to judge or criticize because they no longer feel the need to compare themselves to others. They understand that each person's worth is unique and not something that can be measured or ranked. This sense of equality fosters deeper, more genuine connections because they're not looking to others for validation or a sense of superiority. Instead, they see others as fellow travelers on a shared journey. Ultimately, when people embrace the understanding that self-worth comes from within, they empower themselves to live authentically and fearlessly. They become their own source of love, acceptance, and validation, which transforms their relationships, decisions, and sense of purpose. This inner foundation of worthiness enables them to live life on their terms, undeterred by societal pressures or the opinions of others. Rather than chasing after self-worth through external means, they embody it from within, finding in themselves a steady, unbreakable sense of value that remains, no matter what life brings. The saying, "health is wealth," is often repeated but not always deeply understood until health issues arise. Many people focus on career, finances, and social status, often at the expense of their physical and mental well-being. Yet, when it comes down to it, health is the foundation that enables us to enjoy life, pursue goals, and maintain relationships. Without good health, even the most significant achievements and the most luxurious possessions lose their meaning. Health is, in essence, a kind of wealth that, when preserved and nurtured, enriches every part of life. Unfortunately, this truth is often recognized only after health has been compromised, when people realize too late how valuable it is to feel well, strong, and energetic. When people are in good health, they usually have the energy and mental clarity needed to pursue their ambitions and handle life's challenges. Physical health enables people to engage fully in work, leisure, and relationships. A healthy body makes it easier to take on new tasks, travel, connect with others, and enjoy simple pleasures. Mental health, equally important, provides resilience, patience, and focus. It allows people to find balance, stay calm under stress, and approach problems with a clear mind. However, once health begins to falter, these activities become more challenging, and people often realize how much they took their health for granted. Investing in health is one of the best ways to protect one's ability to live fully. Regular exercise, nutritious eating, sufficient sleep, and stress management are often seen as basic health advice but are actually powerful tools for preserving this priceless resource. Exercise keeps the body strong and flexible, protecting it from illness and injuries that can make life difficult. Eating well provides the nutrients needed for energy, concentration, and immunity, while sleep restores the body and mind, preparing them for each new day. Stress management, though sometimes overlooked, is essential. Chronic stress takes a toll on every aspect of health and can lead to serious issues over time. Those who make a habit of these practices aren't just working toward a healthier body, they're building a reserve of energy, strength, and resilience that will serve them in all areas of life. The relationship between health and happiness is also profound. When people are healthy, they tend to feel better emotionally and mentally, which influences their relationships, careers, and overall outlook on life. Health provides the foundation for positivity and enjoyment. People who feel physically well are more likely to engage in activities that bring them joy, like spending time with family, traveling, or pursuing hobbies. They are also more capable of handling stress without feeling overwhelmed, which leads to greater life satisfaction. Without good health, even simple tasks can feel like obstacles, and it becomes harder to find joy and fulfillment. On the other hand, neglecting health can create a vicious cycle. For example, people who push themselves too hard at work might sacrifice sleep and exercise, leading to fatigue and increased stress. Over time, this can weaken the immune system, lead to weight gain, and even contribute to mental health issues like anxiety and depression. As physical health declines, the ability to enjoy life diminishes, creating frustration and, sometimes, a sense of hopelessness. Health issues can lead to time away from work, which may reduce income, creating financial strain that only adds to the stress. In this way, neglecting health ultimately impacts every other aspect of life, including the financial security people often strive to protect. Investing in health pays dividends over time, allowing people to maintain productivity, creativity, and enthusiasm well into their later years. When people are healthy, they are better equipped to pursue new goals, adapt to life's changes, and maintain a high quality of life. Those who take care of their health often find that they can keep up with younger generations, continue contributing to their communities, and enjoy time with their families without the limitations that poor health can impose. This vitality is not only a gift to oneself, but also to loved ones who benefit from a healthy, active, and present family member or friend. Moreover, people who prioritize their health tend to make wiser decisions in other areas of life. A healthy lifestyle fosters discipline, patience, and a sense of purpose. For example, the commitment to regular exercise and nutritious eating often reflects a larger commitment to self-respect and personal growth. People who value their health are often more intentional about how they spend their time and who they spend it with. They understand that each decision has a ripple effect, not just on their physical body, but on their mindset and well-being. This approach to life creates a virtuous cycle of positive habits, which enhances not only physical health, but also mental and emotional health. Ultimately, treating health as wealth is about recognizing its central role in a fulfilling life. It's about understanding that the ability to live well, love deeply, and pursue passions is rooted in the foundation of physical and mental well-being. The choice to value health is a choice to value one's own life, to respect oneself, and to cultivate a life that can be lived fully, with energy and joy. Health is not just the absence of illness, it's the presence of vitality, and it allows people to bring their best selves to every part of life. Failure is often seen as something to be avoided or feared, yet it can be one of life's greatest teachers. When we understand failure as a stepping stone, it shifts from being a source of shame or regret to a powerful tool for growth and self-discovery. Every setback, mistake, or shortfall has within it the seeds of progress, offering valuable insights that success alone cannot provide. Learning to view failure as a necessary part of the journey to achievement allows people to pursue their goals more fearlessly, knowing that missteps are not the end, but rather the beginning of a deeper understanding and skill development. This mindset transforms failure from an obstacle into a critical stepping stone that paves the way to success. One of the most valuable lessons that failure teaches is resilience. When people experience setbacks, they are faced with a choice to give up or to keep moving forward. Each failure builds a layer of resilience, helping people to become mentally tougher and more capable of handling adversity. It's often in moments of failure that people find their inner strength, realizing they are capable of enduring much more than they initially believed. Resilience developed through failure becomes an asset, giving people the courage to take on challenges without fear of falling short, because they know they can bounce back. This resilience is foundational to long-term success, as every path worth pursuing inevitably comes with its share of obstacles. Failure also brings with it clarity. Often it reveals what doesn't work, pushing people to rethink their approach, make adjustments, and ultimately arrive at a better strategy. Success alone can sometimes cloud judgment, giving the illusion that everything is perfect as it is. Failure, on the other hand, forces reflection and analysis, urging people to dig deeper and understand why things went wrong. This process of evaluating and recalibrating sharpens problem-solving skills, making people more analytical and mindful of their decisions. Instead of blindly pushing forward, they learn to pivot, adapt, and refine their methods. In this way, failure acts as a compass, guiding them to a more effective path that they might never have discovered if they hadn't first stumbled. Another gift of failure is humility. Success can sometimes breed arrogance or overconfidence, making people believe they have all the answers. Failure, however, serves as a humbling reminder of our limitations and the need for growth. It teaches that mastery is a continuous journey, one that requires openness to learning and the acceptance that we don't know everything. Humility gained through failure allows people to be more receptive to feedback and to seek advice and mentorship from others. This humility often strengthens relationships as well, as it makes people more empathetic and compassionate both with themselves and with others who may also be struggling. It creates a sense of shared humanity, reminding us that everyone stumbles and that these stumbles are part of the shared experience of growth. Failure also nurtures creativity. When a plan doesn't work, people are often forced to think outside the box to find alternative solutions. This can lead to innovative ideas and breakthroughs that might not have been considered otherwise. Failure nudges people to break away from conventional thinking and try new approaches, testing boundaries and exploring different perspectives. Creativity thrives in such environments, where there's permission to try, fail, and try again. Over time, these experiences cultivate a mindset that sees possibilities rather than limitations, allowing people to approach problems with a fresh perspective and a willingness to experiment. Importantly, failure teaches perseverance. It's easy to pursue goals when everything is going smoothly, but true perseverance is demonstrated when things don't go as planned. Those who are able to keep moving forward after failing build a remarkable capacity for endurance. They learn not to be discouraged by temporary setbacks, but to view them as part of the journey. Perseverance developed through repeated failures builds an unwavering commitment to one's goals. This relentless dedication often separates those who eventually succeed from those who abandon their dreams at the first sign of difficulty. Each time they rise after a fall, they reinforce their resolve, growing stronger and more focused on their purpose. Failure can also be a profound teacher of self-awareness. It reveals strengths and weaknesses in a way that success rarely does. When people fail, they are often compelled to examine their actions, decisions, and motivations closely. This process leads to a deeper understanding of themselves, their triggers, patterns, and the areas where they can improve. Such self-awareness is invaluable as it empowers people to make conscious choices that align with their true goals and values. They gain a more authentic sense of who they are and what they are capable of, which fosters personal growth and a more grounded sense of identity. Over time, this self-awareness becomes a cornerstone of personal development, allowing people to approach their goals with a greater sense of purpose and intention. Moreover, failure instills a sense of gratitude for the successes that eventually come. When people have experienced setbacks and have had to work hard to overcome them, they appreciate their achievements more deeply. They understand the value of what they have accomplished because they know the struggles it took to get there. This gratitude makes success sweeter and builds a sense of fulfillment that is more enduring than superficial achievements. Success gained without failure can sometimes feel empty, as it lacks the depth of experience and the journey's full context. Those who have faced and overcome failure know the true meaning of resilience, growth, and triumph, and this understanding enriches their lives in a way that smooth success alone cannot. Failure fosters empathy and connection with others. People who have struggled are often more understanding and supportive of others going through similar challenges. They recognize the courage it takes to keep going after setbacks, and they are more inclined to encourage others to persevere. This empathy builds stronger relationships and creates a network of support, as they understand that success is rarely a solo journey, and that everyone benefits from encouragement and shared wisdom. In this way, failure can build communities of resilient, compassionate individuals who lift each other up and celebrate each other's successes, having shared the experience of growth through adversity. In sum, failure is not a barrier but a stepping stone, one that lays the groundwork for resilience, creativity, perseverance, humility, and empathy. Each failure teaches valuable lessons that bring people closer to their goals and closer to becoming the person they aspire to be. When embraced with openness and courage, failure becomes one of life's greatest assets, empowering people to build a life marked by depth, purpose, and enduring success. The power of mindset is one of the most profound influences on the trajectory of a person's life. It shapes the way we perceive ourselves, our abilities, and the world around us. With a positive and growth-oriented mindset, even the most challenging situations can be viewed as opportunities for development and self-improvement. On the other hand, a negative or fixed mindset can make even minor obstacles seem insurmountable, leading to a cycle of frustration and self-doubt. Mindset is more than just a way of thinking, it's the lens through which we interpret our experiences and decide how to act. By changing our mindset, we can transform our entire reality, because the mind, when used constructively, has the power to influence outcomes and create pathways to success. At its core, mindset is the belief system that shapes our expectations and guides our behavior. A growth mindset, as psychologist Carol Dweck describes, is the belief that talents, intelligence, and abilities can be developed with effort, learning, and perseverance. People with this mindset understand that failure is not a defining endpoint, but rather a stepping stone toward mastery. This belief empowers them to take risks, embrace challenges, and persist through setbacks, knowing that every experience, whether positive or negative, contributes to their growth. In contrast, a fixed mindset is the belief that qualities like intelligence and talent are set in stone. People with a fixed mindset tend to avoid challenges, fear failure, and stick to what they know. They see mistakes as reflections of their inadequacies rather than as opportunities to learn. This fundamental difference in belief systems impacts every aspect of life, from personal growth to career success, relationships, and overall happiness. One of the greatest advantages of a growth-oriented mindset is resilience. Life is filled with obstacles and uncertainties, and without resilience, these obstacles can feel overwhelming. People with a growth mindset view difficulties as temporary and surmountable. They understand that setbacks are part of the journey, not the end of it. This perspective makes it easier to navigate hardships, because rather than seeing them as indications of failure, they see them as valuable learning experiences. Resilience developed through a positive mindset enables people to bounce back stronger, armed with the lessons learned from previous challenges. This is why so many successful people often credit their mindset as the secret behind their ability to overcome failures and keep pushing forward toward their goals. Mindset also directly affects motivation. When people believe in their potential to grow and improve, they are more likely to take action, set ambitious goals, and persevere even when progress is slow. They are fueled by a deep sense of purpose and determination that keeps them moving forward. In contrast, people with a fixed mindset often feel discouraged at the first sign of difficulty. They may avoid new challenges or give up easily, believing that they simply aren't cut out for certain tasks. This self-limiting belief system traps people in a cycle of underachievement and dissatisfaction, as they are reluctant to push beyond their perceived limits. The power of a growth-oriented mindset, on the other hand, lies in its ability to keep people motivated, even when the path forward is uncertain or filled with obstacles. Another transformative aspect of mindset is its impact on relationships. People with a positive and growth-focused mindset tend to be more compassionate and understanding. They are open to feedback, willing to learn from others, and are generally more forgiving, both of themselves and others. This approach fosters deeper and more meaningful connections because it is based on acceptance, growth, and mutual respect. A growth-oriented mindset allows people to see the potential in others, to appreciate their efforts, and to support them in their own journeys. In contrast, those with a fixed mindset may be more judgmental, quick to assign blame, and less willing to work through difficulties in relationships. By adopting a growth-oriented mindset, individuals can cultivate healthier, more supportive relationships that are built on understanding and shared progress. Mindset even influences physical and mental health. Studies have shown that individuals with a positive outlook and belief in their ability to affect change in their lives experience lower stress levels, stronger immune responses, and generally better health outcomes. This is because a growth mindset fosters an attitude of proactive self-care. People with this mindset believe they can take steps to improve their health, and so they are more likely to engage in healthy behaviors like exercise, proper nutrition, and stress management. Conversely, a negative or fixed mindset can lead to a sense of helplessness and a tendency to neglect self-care. People who feel that their circumstances are out of their control may experience chronic stress, which has been linked to a wide range of health issues. Thus, a growth-oriented mindset not only enhances mental resilience, but also supports physical health and longevity. The power of mindset is also evident in the realm of personal achievement. A positive mindset fosters confidence and self-belief, which are essential for taking action and achieving one's goals. When people believe in their ability to learn and grow, they are willing to take risks, make mistakes, and put in the effort needed to succeed. This belief acts as a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more they trust in their potential, the more they achieve, and the more confident they become. Conversely, a fixed mindset can be paralyzing. People who doubt their abilities often hold back, fearing that failure will expose their limitations. This hesitation prevents them from fully committing to their goals, leading to missed opportunities and unrealized potential. The simple shift from "I can't" to "I can learn how" opens up a world of possibilities and puts people on the path to self-actualization. Ultimately, mindset is a powerful force that shapes our experiences and determines the quality of our lives. Whether someone has a growth mindset or a fixed mindset can mean the difference between a life of continuous learning and fulfillment, and one marked by stagnation and frustration. By cultivating a growth-oriented mindset, people unlock their potential to face challenges, learn from failure, nurture positive relationships, and create lives that are rich in purpose and resilience. The power of mindset is boundless. It allows individuals not only to dream, but to pursue those dreams with passion, confidence, and unwavering determination. Relationships, like any meaningful pursuit in life, require consistent care, effort, and attention. They don't just thrive on their own, they need nurturing to grow and flourish. Nurturing relationships involves actively investing time, energy, and empathy to create a strong, supportive, and lasting bond. It's a conscious choice to prioritize the people we care about. And that choice is reflected in the small, daily actions we take to maintain these connections. When we invest in relationships, we're not only creating positive experiences and memories with others, but also building a support system that strengthens resilience, fosters personal growth, and adds depth and richness to life. One of the most important aspects of nurturing relationships is communication. Open, honest, and empathetic communication forms the foundation of any close connection, whether it's with family, friends, or a romantic partner. Being able to share thoughts, feelings, and ideas without fear of judgment or rejection creates a safe space where both people feel valued and understood. In nurturing relationships, listening is just as crucial as speaking. When people genuinely listen, they show that they care about the other person's perspective and are invested in understanding their needs and desires. Good communication also includes expressing appreciation, giving positive feedback, and addressing issues respectfully. Relationships grow stronger when both individuals feel heard, respected, and supported, which requires intentional, ongoing communication. Another vital aspect of nurturing relationships is the element of trust. Trust is the bedrock of any meaningful connection, and without it, relationships can quickly become strained or superficial. Building trust takes time and consistency. It's the result of showing up for each other, honoring commitments, and behaving with integrity. Trust deepens when people know they can rely on each other, not only in moments of joy, but also in times of difficulty. In a nurturing relationship, trust means being there for one another, offering a sense of security that comes from knowing that someone genuinely cares about your well-being. Trust allows people to be vulnerable, to share their true selves without fear, which ultimately leads to a richer, more authentic connection. Nurturing relationships also means making time for each other. In today's busy world, time is one of the most valuable resources, and dedicating time to relationships is a way of showing that they matter. Spending quality time together doesn't have to involve elaborate plans. It can be as simple as a conversation over coffee, a walk in the park, or a shared activity that brings joy. What matters is the presence and focus given during these moments. Quality time allows people to connect, catch up, and enjoy each other's company without distractions. It's a reminder that even amidst hectic schedules and responsibilities, there is room for the people who matter. The memories and experiences created through quality time become the shared history that binds people together, creating a strong foundation for the relationship. Acts of kindness and consideration also play a significant role in nurturing relationships. Small gestures, whether it's offering a helping hand, giving a thoughtful gift, or simply expressing words of encouragement can go a long way in showing others that they are valued. Kindness creates a positive atmosphere and reinforces the bond between people, showing that they are not taken for granted. These acts are reminders of appreciation and respect, which deepen the relationship over time. In nurturing relationships, kindness is not a one-time event, it's a continuous effort to care for and support the other person. People often remember how they were made to feel in a relationship, and acts of kindness are a powerful way to create lasting, positive impressions. Empathy is another essential component of nurturing relationships. Understanding and validating another person's emotions, especially during challenging times, fosters a sense of closeness and compassion. Empathy goes beyond just listening. It's about putting oneself in the other person's shoes and truly feeling what they might be going through. Empathetic responses show that we care about their experiences, whether they're going through joy or hardship. By practicing empathy, people can support each other more effectively and build a relationship based on genuine understanding. Empathy creates emotional closeness, allowing both individuals to feel safe and connected, knowing that they have someone who is willing to share in their joys and challenges. Flexibility and compromise are also vital in nurturing relationships. No two people are alike, and differences in opinions, preferences, and personalities are natural. Nurturing relationships requires a willingness to meet each other halfway, to find solutions that honor both people's needs and values. Compromise does not mean giving up oneself entirely, but rather finding a balance that respects both perspectives. Flexibility allows relationships to adapt to changes and challenges without breaking. When people are willing to compromise and be flexible, they show respect for each other's individuality while reinforcing the shared commitment to the relationship. This flexibility is what enables relationships to weather storms and come out stronger on the other side. Forgiveness is another cornerstone of nurturing relationships. Misunderstandings, mistakes, and conflicts are inevitable in any close connection, and holding on to grudges can erode trust and closeness. Forgiveness allows people to move past mistakes and focus on the positive aspects of the relationship. It means letting go of resentment and choosing to prioritize the relationship over the hurt caused by temporary issues. Forgiving does not mean forgetting or dismissing boundaries, rather. It's an intentional choice to move forward without carrying past grievances. When both individuals are willing to forgive and learn from conflicts, they create an environment where growth is possible, and the relationship becomes stronger with each resolved challenge. Nurturing relationships involves patience and commitment. Every meaningful relationship goes through ups and downs, moments of joy and periods of difficulty. The commitment to stay connected, even when times are tough, shows the depth of care and respect for one another. Patience allows people to give each other space to grow, evolve, and navigate personal challenges without fear of losing the connection. In a nurturing relationship, both individuals understand that building and maintaining a strong bond takes time, and they are willing to invest in that journey. This patience and commitment are what turn relationships into enduring sources of love, support, and inspiration. Nurturing relationships is about actively choosing to invest in the people we care about, valuing them, and being there through all the seasons of life. When relationships are nurtured, they don't just survive, they thrive, providing a source of comfort, growth, and meaning. Every action, word, and gesture adds to the foundation, creating bonds that can withstand the challenges of time and life. In nurturing others, we not only enrich their lives, but also create a source of strength, love, and joy for ourselves, building a life that is deeply fulfilling and connected. Letting go is an essential, though often difficult, part of life. It requires us to release attachment to people, experiences, and ideas that no longer serve us and make space for growth, transformation, and new possibilities. The importance of letting go lies in its ability to free us from burdens that hold us back and empower us to move forward with greater clarity, peace, and resilience. Holding on to the past, whether it's regrets, grudges, or outdated beliefs, can create emotional and mental weight, slowing us down and preventing us from reaching our full potential. By letting go, we allow ourselves to live in the present and make choices that are more aligned with who we are now, rather than who we were or we thought we needed to be. One of the most powerful benefits of letting go is the sense of emotional freedom it brings. When we hold on to resentment, anger, or pain, we allow these emotions to take up space in our minds and hearts, often overshadowing the positive experiences in our lives. These unresolved emotions can impact our well-being, leading to stress, anxiety, and even physical health issues over time. Letting go of negative emotions doesn't mean ignoring or invalidating them. Instead, it means processing them, understanding their origins, and releasing their hold on us. This process allows us to feel lighter, more at ease, and more capable of responding to new situations with an open heart and mind. Emotional freedom also opens the door to greater joy, as we are no longer held captive by past hurts and disappointments. Letting go also enables personal growth. When we cling to outdated beliefs, rigid expectations, or habits that no longer serve us, we limit our potential for change and self-improvement. Growth requires flexibility, an openness to adapt, and a willingness to explore new perspectives and approaches. By releasing attachments to what we think we should be, or what we believe we deserve based on past experiences, we allow ourselves to expand and evolve. Letting go means embracing the idea that we are constantly changing, and what worked for us yesterday might not work for us today. In letting go, we create the mental and emotional space necessary to welcome new ideas, skills, and experiences that contribute to our growth and development. This mindset encourages us to become more resilient and adaptable, qualities that help us navigate life's inevitable ups and downs. Letting go is also essential for building and maintaining healthy relationships. When we cling to expectations or past grievances, we may unintentionally create distance and tension between ourselves and others. Letting go allows us to forgive and move forward without letting past misunderstandings or disappointments cloud our view of the present. Relationships flourish when both people feel free to be themselves without the weight of unmet expectations or unresolved resentments. Letting go in relationships often involves accepting others as they are, rather than trying to change them or holding them to rigid standards that may not align with who they genuinely are. This acceptance fosters understanding, compassion, and empathy, which strengthens the relationship and creates a more authentic, supportive bond. Letting go can also be profoundly empowering. It is a declaration of trust in oneself and in life's unfolding. When we let go of control, we acknowledge that we cannot predict or dictate every outcome, and that's okay. Trusting in life's process allows us to find a sense of peace, even amidst uncertainty, as we release the need to have everything mapped out perfectly. By letting go, we take ownership of our choices and responses rather than trying to control external circumstances. This shift in perspective enables us to focus on what we can influence: our mindset, reactions, and actions, and relinquish what is beyond our control. Empowerment comes from realizing that we are not defined by what happens to us, but by how we respond and adapt. Letting go of the need for control or certainty invites us to engage with life more fully and confidently. Letting go of the past is another vital aspect of emotional healing. Many people carry wounds from past experiences that, if left unaddressed, continue to influence their present lives in negative ways. Holding on to past pain can prevent us from fully engaging in life, as we may avoid situations that remind us of past hurts or feel guarded in our interactions with others. By acknowledging and processing past pain, we can begin to release it, making way for healing and new beginnings. This process doesn't mean forgetting what happened or dismissing our feelings, but rather integrating these experiences in a way that no longer defines us. Letting go of the past gives us the freedom to shape our future without being held back by what once was, and it allows us to create a new narrative rooted in resilience and self-empowerment. Letting go also nurtures self-compassion. Often we hold on to guilt, shame, or self-blame for mistakes or perceived failures, carrying these burdens with us over the years. Letting go of self-judgment involves recognizing that mistakes are a part of growth, and that we are allowed to learn, forgive ourselves, and move forward. When we practice self-compassion, we acknowledge our humanity and give ourselves permission to let go of harsh self-criticism. This shift in perspective allows us to treat ourselves with kindness and patience, which not only enhances our sense of self-worth, but also strengthens our ability to show compassion to others. Ultimately, letting go is about embracing change and accepting life as it is, rather than as we wish it to be. Change is a constant force, and resisting it only creates stress and disappointment. When we let go of our resistance to change, we open ourselves to life's natural flow, accepting that some things are meant to pass through our lives rather than stay forever. This acceptance allows us to approach each moment with gratitude for what it offers, knowing that everything has its season. In letting go, we learn to value the present moment and the experiences and people in our lives as they are now, rather than holding on to rigid expectations or attachments. Letting go is not about giving up. It's about creating freedom. It's about releasing burdens that no longer serve us so we can move forward with clarity, strength, and openness to new possibilities. The process of letting go may take time and patience, but the freedom it brings is well worth the journey. In letting go, we invite peace, joy, and renewed purpose into our lives, embracing a fuller, more authentic way of being. In conclusion, the lessons that life teaches us often come too late, yet they carry with them the potential to transform how we approach our existence. From the understanding that time is one of our most valuable assets, to the realization that self-worth is built from within, each insight is an invitation to live more consciously and authentically. Recognizing the importance of health, the power of mindset, the role of failure, and the nurturing of relationships are all crucial elements of a fulfilled life. Moreover, letting go of the past, negative emotions, and limiting beliefs creates the space necessary for growth, healing, and new opportunities. As we reflect on these lessons, we are reminded that life's true richness is found not in material possessions or fleeting accomplishments, but in the depth of our emotional experiences, our capacity for growth, and the strength of the connections we forge. Each lesson learned, though perhaps delayed, becomes a tool that empowers us to live with greater purpose, resilience, and joy. It is never too late to begin applying these insights, for the process of learning and evolving is ongoing, and every step we take towards understanding them is a step toward a more meaningful life.